Do not run. Do not skip. Do not play Frogger over your fellow attendees. Walk. Running or moving in an otherwise unsafe manner may result in your badge being taken.
What is up, everybody?
It's been so long.
I'm thinking like 2 months, something like that.
Been a bit.
But if you notice though, we have a whole new setup in here. You can't see the floor, but it's a whole new
pretty.
setup. We have soundproofed this room. We moved, so that's why there's a little bit of a difference here.
I was working and traveling.
And we had to do a lot of work to this room.
But,
if I had pictures, I would show you,
But good thing is we're coming back with a bang.
Yes. So if you can't see, we have this is what we're going to talk about today. We have GenCon. We have GenCon. We have game from GenCon. I'm not wearing my GenCon stuff, but it's okay.
And my games from GenCon are at my house, which
y'all,
I needed an entire U-Haul truck to bring them back over to this house.
You don't even know like how much, like we met up on the first day of GenCon and this boy spent all his money.
I made 2 room trips.
Yeah.
In the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I was going to put Everdell up here, but this was actually one of the games that GenCon had there at the location for the first time. This thing sold out, I think, within the first 2 days of being there. So we were lucky enough to grab one of those on the first day. We walked by, saw it on display, and was like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, because they were going to get the tabletop, like paper, pen, and pencil Sea of Thieves, and
which
got this instead.
We heard from a reliable source, also known as a guy that randomly walked past us hearing about it, that one is no good. The like paper version.
Really?
Yeah, the role-playing one is apparently like hot garbage. So you're spending $70 or $80 on a kit that you maybe will get like a couple of hours of, and then once you play through it, it's like never again. So
that's a bummer.
This, on the other hand, has gotten really good reviews. This is the Sea of Thieves Voyage of Legends board game that was there at GenCon. So, as we said, we had a lot of things that we purchased at GenCon. So,
yes, we did.
There's going to be a lot of episodes here in the near future about playing these games through. We got this, we got Honey Buzz, we got
Return to Dark Tower, Thunder Road Maximum Chrome Edition. I got Hero Quest with 2 expansions. I got 3 expansions coming in with all the characters too. Mm-hmm. What else did we get?
I did more of the D&D stuff on my end. So I've got Households, which is a whole new... It's based off of 5e, I believe. It's about pixies and things like that. We also got Hunter, The Reckoning.
Guys,
we wanted to do something different than like 5th edition D&D, and this
we came
one
up with the greatest idea ever today.
So we were going to do something Vampire Masquerade.
Let's not tell them what the idea is until we actually launch the campaign. But
just know that he thought of this idea and it just spiraled. I'm not going to say downhill because this is nothing but like this is Mount Olympus.
We was in another totally different D&D campaign today, and we completely ignored like 15 minutes of it and just literally died laughing about what we're going to do with this Hunter game. And I can't be more excited about getting ready to play a game.
You have no idea.
It's going to be great.
Problem is we're going to have to find somebody to run it because this is not going to be... It's a very role-play heavy game, just like Vampire Masquerade and stuff, but this is going to be comedy roleplay, so we're gonna have to find somebody that's willing to listen to us just botch this game.
Yeah, let's not botch the game, but joke around a lot.
Yes,
a lot.
It's a great idea, and it just fits perfectly. So,
like, we gotta go buy clothes for it not because we want to LARP, but
I'm gonna have to figure out how to style my hair to do this. So, y'all, you need to keep an eye out. It's coming later on down the pipe when we can find somebody to run this that's willing to work with us. But keep that one in mind. But we're gonna be playing a lot of board games. This one, Everdell, we bought the whole complete series.
It's an amazing box. I love it.
It's a very big box. It's got everything in there, and it even came with an otter.
Your little otter, guys, should have been up here on the
table. Little otters in my craft room, along with Chungus, my little mini of the fat dragon.
I should have bought one of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I didn't know he wasn't painted, but I'm gonna get to paint him, and that's fantastic for me. But we also got these swords. The red ones were free. The blue ones were not, but had to have them. Magic Sword performed at GenCon this year, so we went to that concert and got some fantastic things, and I'll show videos.
Magic Sword.
Magic Sword. But we're going to tell you our experience about this year's GenCon of 2023, and just like without even getting into the like experience, this apparently broke the record for how many people were at Gen Con.
Yeah, it was the biggest Gen Con they've had, and I mean, it was honestly, we went last year, and it was still a COVID mask year, so they still made you wear a mask and stuff. So it was the attendance was way down, and it was still super busy. But this was so nuts to butts. It was
77,000, I think, was what it was, which broke the record. So they had the biggest amount of people there. You had some older person get trampled. Thank you, Disney, and your Lorcana.
Matthew Lillard was there for his booth.
Brandon Lee Mulligan was there running a game.
I was so angry that he was there. I didn't know it. I would have bought tickets. Like, he's one of my, like, literally cracks my shit up. He's the person that we need to reach up. Like, hey, you want to run a game of Hunter for us? We got this idea.
It's like, listen, it's a good idea.
We'll be on Dimension 20. Like,
it's a great idea.
It's awesome.
We just need somebody to run it.
Yeah, and I think you're the guy that could do it.
I think it was like 2 or 3 hours after the one that he ran. I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I think we was getting ready to do we did something.
We were in that free play hall, and then that's where I saw it. Yeah. So like we also saw somebody get proposed to. Nobody in the group but me cared about it. So
I was literally like this close to him, and I was just like going about. We was talking about playing the game. We were reading the rules. I was just like, yep. Anyways, I was like, what did happen? They're like, he got proposed. I was like, oh.
Yeah, his fiance. Even I saw her go like.
Yep.
Nathan was like, do you see these really cool dice that I bought? They're really awesome. They're really pretty. And I'm like, I'm going to give this couple the honor they deserve. All right, because she was wearing a Korok shirt. He got her apparently a Game of Thrones ring. It was the dragon egg. Ooh. So I was paying attention.
I had no clue this was happening. All I know is they stood there for another 30 minutes and was like, oh my god, like we got married.
Because apparently one of the friends was running a D&D campaign and it went over 2 hours, and he was like, he was supposed to do it a few hours ago, but I messed that up. So congrats, we're doing it in the middle of this aisle. But, like, congratulations to you two if you ever watch this. Really awesome. Loved your shirt.
Yeah, I mean, we're not angry about it. I'm not annoyed by you. It's just...
They had no clue what was going on.
I was playing new board games.
And I was sitting there tearing up. I was like, it's so special.
I was really... But anyways, I guess we kind of skipped over what Gen Con is.
If you don't know what it is, this is probably really confusing to you.
Yeah. So Gen Con is the biggest board game convention in America. It's held in Indianapolis every year. It's been held there since... I want to say like the early 90s. And I'm like, to kind of give you the aspect of how big it is.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering, very first card ever sold was there. The alpha sets were sold there in Gen Con. So that was like 1993, 95, whatever it was. So it's a huge place. Board games are announced there, new games all the time. So it's giant.
It's massive, y'all.
It goes through the convention center, 2 or 3 different hotels. The Lucas Oil Colt Stadium is actually the playing fields. You got open game tables. It's awesome. Yeah. If you never get a chance to go to it, I'm sorry. If you get a chance to, go. It's one of the greatest weekends of all time.
There's so many things that you can do. Like, I'm into a lot of things. I'm more of the D&D side of things, while Matt is the board game person.
Very much so. So, like, the next, 10 episodes, I'm going to be all about. I'm jazzed.
But, like, there is something for everyone there, and I mean, like, it's a blast to go through. You have friends the whole way there. Like, they had that concert this year that was really awesome. So I mean, like, it's always something just to go to for fun. I went to it back in 2013, not really playing board games or D&D really that much, and I went for a movie that was being filmed there, and even I was like, what is this place? This is fantastic. I want to go every year of my life. This is wonderful. But it was huge this year. They had so many people. There were so many booths, so many like events and stuff. We actually got to roam around at night on Saturday. And there was the donation thing, the fundraiser that was going on. They always, like, every year they have Magic the Gathering. Well, actually, it's any type of card.
Is it the one where they're doing the card towers and throwing the money at it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, there's this area right there at the beginning of what's the actual, like, opening, like, the front entrance to it. They have Magic cards, any type of cards, like bicycle cards, pretty much anything that nobody wants. And they go and they build these towers and, like, do things on the floor. And it just is, like, at the very end, they do this fundraiser where you try and, like, raise the money for things. And then at the end of it, all your change, you get to throw it and try and take down all of the towers that they've built.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
This year, we were sitting there going through all the rooms that were open after, like, everything had closed. Because the convention, like, the booths close at 6 or 7, but the rest of the building is completely wide open all night. And we were just roaming around doing that. and there was this screaming going on to the front because there were these 9 guys that dressed up as Mario, and I mean, different versions of them.
The cosplay.
Parade. Yeah. So there was one with the chef hat. There was one that had like the hat from Odyssey, like the 8-bit
Mario
one.
Sunshine was there.
So like they had all the different types, but like because they were there, they had half the room as Mario team and the other like half was Luigi, and so they were having a battle to see who could raise the most money. So we're sitting all the way in the back corner, and all we hear is Mario, Mario, Luigi, 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 Mario, and it was like, okay, well, we have to go see this. So
Mario, Luigi, Mario.
Yeah. So we stood there, and there's people up on the like second floor where it's like this big opening, throwing money down, and like I caught a $20 bill, and I went, "We got a 20!" They were like, "We got a 20!" Then this.
I'd be like, I got a 20.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, who's stopping me from like? Well, I will say to the dude that was standing 2 people in front of me, you know who you are in your Hawaiian shirt, you asshole. You pocketed like $6, which is not a lot.
He might need a bus fare.
He pocketed $6, and it was crumpled up, and he was just like, I was like, I see that. But this dude just came out of nowhere when it was like a quiet moment. They were picking a kid to start throwing coins and stuff. He just came up behind me and like my husband and was going up to the Marios and goes, guys, I got a $100 bill. We're like, you have what? And he's like, I got a $100 bill. What? Then he just handed me a $100 bill, and I was like, the Marios should do this. So I gave it to one of the Marios, and they were like, Yahoo! We have a 100! And like,
did you start jumping?
Yes, they all were doing this and like doing stuff. Nice. It was just freaking amazing. So like that I have never seen at a convention before, so that was really cool.
Yeah, that's one thing about this convention. Like, you know, we've been to Comic-Con, we've been to ASIN, we've been to a lot of different conventions.
And we've been to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah. And what's really cool about this one is like it's the only one, like, even though it is board game themed, that's what you're going for. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like going to like an anime convention. It doesn't feel like going to Comic-Con where like everything's really jammed down your throat. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of any booth where you go and they're yelling at you or trying to get you to come to the booth. It's literally a chill, good. You walk through, you do what you need. You know, we went to ASIN, you have people yelling, Yowie! It's so bad. And then Comic-Con's just a whole nother level.
And I got elbowed in the face at San Diego Comic-Con just because they were passing out those tubes to put your posters in.
Yeah.
It was I should have known better because it was between the Supernatural and like that group of people was on stage.
Hit.
Then Walking Dead came out. And so like all those people were on stage, all these people were on stage. There was a teeny tiny little area right down the middle, and I was trying to walk through, and this guy was like, I got one, and it just hit me square in like the freaking eye. So I was like,
yeah, so again. Like I said, I really like this one, and like it really is like probably the most friendly convention I've been to because everyone's got those big, huge board game bags on, and everyone just expects to get smacked in the face.
You're gonna get smacked.
2 people turn around, they're like, "I'm sorry." It's like, it's no big deal, man. It's happening. Like you got $100, $600, $700, $1,000 of the board games in your bag. I get it.
And they actually like hold things when you lose them. So our guy over here.
That is true. Yeah.
So they have a Wild Bill. And the cups are expensive. They're like $80.
If you don't know, it's basically you get a really nice metal cup, and you pay for the whole weekend to have free refills.
Which is $40.
Which is worth it because if you're there 4 days, you're spending 12 hours in there. That's a lot of drinks, and convention prices are already $15, $10.
$6 a bottle for water.
It's not bad. But I spent $85 on this damn cup. I wanted to die. But I had it the whole day. First day, they go by Everdale. She gets her little cute otter, and I see for my fiance this little fox. I'm like, well, she's gonna want the fox, so I put my cup down. I'm like, I'll put this here, get my wallet out, pay for it. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go.
Bye,
and
cup.
we leave. And about 2 hours later, I'm like, guys, I lost my cup. Pretty sure I left it at the Everdale booth. They're like, let's go back. I was like, it's already been too late. We'll just go put our stuff back. We walk by it again. I'll ask if it's there. So
we walked by it.
2-3 hours later, we probably walked by, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's right here. Here you go." Gave it to me. And we was good to go. So that's probably the coolest thing ever. So Everdale, I already loved you, but I love you a lot more now.
Well, not even that, but there was a post I was looking through Reddit and like just going through all that stuff to see like what events we did miss, and there was somebody that big bag of holding that they give you for free if you buy the big complete like edition of Everdale. It's massive, like. Somebody took it off to get something out of another friend's pack and then forgot to pick it back up and then walked away. And somebody saw that, put it into Lost and Found, and they went to go check Lost and Found and actually got their $700 worth of board games back because someone saw it and just was like, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to give it to the Lost and Found.
So like I said, I'm sure there is, just like she says, there's a person who really pocketed the charity money.
Yeah.
There's dicks everywhere, but it's honestly one of the most friendly.
Yeah.
Even like the cosplayers, like usually you got a few that you're just like, I get it, you're dressed up, but you don't have to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
None of them were. None of them were like, oh, I'm special, come take pictures of me.
Yeah. No, this was like the funnest experience. Like Nathan hasn't been to many conventions, but like this one this year like has by far been his favorite one that he's ever been to. This year there was just something about, I think it was like that first year after COVID, people were ready to get out and do fun things and pretend to be normal again, and it was just like a super fun experience. So
yeah, it was great. I loved it.
I've already done all my research for next year. I literally sat down and looked at all of the hotels that are attached to the building. There are 11 of them, by the way, and they range from $200 to $300. But
that's your first standard room. You can get nice ones.
Yeah. So like, there's one that's like,
who's gonna spend a lot more money when they can go to board games? I mean,
well, even like we were walking the building, we've got to Pathfinder's room. Like there's the big Pathfinder room, and we were just walking around trying to see like where are the other hotels, what's the best option for us next year. This dude was passed out. Like there was these escalators that go from the first floor to the second floor, right where the Hyatt is going into the mall, and he was passed out asleep, like just dead to the world. And he at some point had dropped his phone like on the ground, and we were standing there just like looking and whatnot, and somebody walked up and was just like, you poor soul, and put it on his chest, and he kind of stirred but then went right back to sleep. And I was like, that's what this is all about here.
100%.
But like, it's so big, there's so many, it's right next to the Circle Mall in Indianapolis, so it's
next to Lucas Oil. I mean, it's
everything
in the heart of downtown.
It is all right in there, so there's no shortage of things.
Mm.
Yes. Oh my God. Very expensive steaks, but Giordano's Pizza's down there, and then of course you got the mall. It's like 4 stories tall. I didn't go into the mall, but it used to be that there is an arcade at the very top of it. Yeah. So like there's all sorts of stuff that you can do while you're not there. There's a baseball field on the corner across the way that they do fun things too as well. So like it's a super fun experience, and this year it really just like brought it home to where this is the best convention that you can go to being a nerd, because there's something for everyone.
And the whole town embraces it. So like all of Indianapolis embraces it. So like even the mall, the shops would close, but they kept the restaurants open until 11 p.m. It was open play, so they had tables throughout the entire mall on all 4 floors. So if you wanted to go play, you could go play. All the hotels had their grand ballrooms open, so you had free play in there. It's just awesome. And like I said, you get to see games that are coming out. So like there's 2 big games I'm waiting for. I got to actually physically hold it. 3 big games that are coming out that I got to physically hold and touch and see. And then 1 game I didn't even know was coming out that I wanted to just... I spent $600 in 15 minutes. So I couldn't really spend a whole lot more. I spent way more than I meant to spend at this place.
It's true, guys.
But, so there's the Red Dragon Inn games. Love them. And they made an actual like board game where it's a bar fight inside of an actual thing. And you have actually board game mechanics too. I'm so ready for that one. I'm excited for that. Pandasaurus has the Fox Experiment come out this November. Really pumped about that game. And then the one that I backed before, and then they were like, we're not doing it. So they canceled it. And then Cool Mini or Not was like, we got you all. We're going to do it. Go ahead and back it. So back to day 1. And that's Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
Super pumped about that game. And then the other one is Cascadia Terrains. I love Cascadia. It's one of my favorite games I got last year at GenCon. And it's phenomenal, and they're coming out with a new one where instead of it just being species that you can line up, you can line up different terrains too, and it's going to be awesome. And that comes out, I think, November as well. So you get to see a lot of new games. You get to play test those games. It's
they have play tests and everything. We didn't get to go to it because these things go so fast when you're like signing up to do play tests, but they had the Kobold Press Tales of the Valiant or the Black Flag that we covered a while back, and so they had that there to test out. They had like a bunch of different like papers and stuff that you could get on it. Obojima, which is from 1985 games, they had one where it's like Legend of Zelda meets Studio Ghibli. They had some information there for it. But like the play test, we didn't get to play Metal Gear, but Nathan was patient enough to wait in line to play it.
We got to play Mordred though, and it was really good. There's another Cool Mini or Not that just ended their Kickstarter. I think the week before Gen Con, and they had a play test version of it, and it's a pretty cool. It's not really a resource building game. It's like a worker placement game.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things you can do there. And like, if you're not sure about the games, the cool thing is they will probably have it somewhere there, whether it's in free play or the play test or at a different booth where you can test it. Like Honey Buzz was one that I was really interested in. And
I thought it was going to be dumb. I was like, who wants to play a game about bees? But the rule of thumb with board games, the dumber the game seems, concept-wise, the better it is. Yeah. I mean, Stonemaier, great example. Wingspan. Who the hell thought a game about watching birds is going to be good? It's phenomenal.
It is fun.
Same thing, Verticulture, same company. Let's grow wine. Let's have a vineyard. Phenomenal game. Honey Buzz. Let's be bees. Phenomenal game.
Yeah. It was actually a lot of fun. We got to play it at the booth, and then we met up in the free play area to do it. And that's another thing about it is the free play area. They have these little cones where if you want to play, if you find someone to play with you, you put your little cone up there, and that shows that you're looking for players. If you're learning to or wanting to learn how to play a game, there's a little flag that you put inside of that, and then someone who knows how to play that game can come and actually teach you how to play it. So if you don't want, like, these things are expensive, guys. Like, if you've never bought a board game that's not like Scrabble or, you know, stuff like that, like this one I think was $70.
Cheap games are $40.
Yeah,
that's a cheap game.
Yeah,
my Return of the Dark Tower that I wanted was $200, and it was. I wanted to buy it when it got Kickstarted. I couldn't. I wanted to buy it last year. They were out by the time I got to the booth. This year that was my goals: Hero Quest and Return of the Dark Tower. And I bought Thunder Road because everyone was like, I got in line for Dark Tower. I was like, I'm gonna get Dark Tower, and then everyone started buying Thunder Road, and it was like,
I'm gonna buy both.
I was like, I'm gonna buy both. And then I'm glad I did because they ran out of that copy version of it. They can standard version, so it was nice.
Literally standing in line, he's looking over at it, and he looks over at me and Nathan. He was like, "Can y'all go grab one of those copies real quick?" And so bought both of them right there. But like, these games are super expensive. They can get really expensive and big. So like, to spend that kind of money on something that you may not like or you don't know if you're gonna like, if you go to this convention, they will have it somewhere for you to play.
Be able to play it.
Or someone's playing it and can teach you how to play.
Now, I'm going to say this to the one guy, and I hope you see this. If you're a random stranger asking for a group of people in a convention to play Cards Against Humanity with you, and you take up an entire play table for hours by yourself, sir, you are not a good man.
To be fair, he had like all of the packs of it, though. Every expansion.
He had every single thing you could get for it.
Like huge piles.
But... You're one, that's a game to play with people you know because you know what makes them laugh and not laugh. But two, you literally sat there by yourself for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
No.
And people were searching for tables.
No. You all weren't there later on. After you all left, we went upstairs. We like hung out for a bit, and that's when we decided, you know what, let's go see what's out there. And went to every room in every hotel, and we were like, let's go see if there's anything happening in the free play area. He was still there.
So he was there for hours.
At midnight.
8-9 hours.
Yes, at midnight, and the cone was still there looking for players. So like that dude, we got down there about like 4 or 5 o'clock to play Honey Buzz. So he was there for
at least 8 hours then.
Yeah, to look for people to play Cards Against Humanity. It's like, look, dude, after 3 hours, if nobody comes to play, I would pack up and go do other things. There's so many things you can do at that convention.
Or go look for another table to play a different game with.
Yeah.
There were so many big games, and the people were playing those games in that room.
But dedication, my friend. Good for you.
Good on that. But don't do it no more.
Yeah. But they also had, like, I will say last year when we went, like, the food area was in that, like, little street right across from the front doors of there. Yeah, they did
a lot better with the block party this year.
They had a block party, and it moved to the south side of it, and there was so much more stuff there.
Another thing that's cool, that was open to the public.
Yeah.
That wasn't like you had to buy a ticket to GenCon. Mm-hmm. You could literally go there and eat.
Walk
and
right
there
on
was 50 food trucks a day, and they rotated breakfast, lunch, and dinner food trucks. It was awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I went to get some nachos, and my guy... You do not need to be selling those nachos for $12. Those things can go easily for $18 because there was so much in there. But like when I got up there, he was like, "How is your convention going?" I was like, "Well, we just got done with a nap and we're down here getting food, so that's how it's going." He started laughing. He's like, "You get extra cheese for that one." I was like, "Hell yeah, dude!" So like, there's so many things going on, and like when we've gone to Chicago and we've gone to San Diego, like. There's those people that just don't seem to want to be near convention people. Like, they hate having conventions in their city. Indianapolis, on the other hand, everyone is like...
They love it.
Good for you all. We're here, too, to celebrate. We may not understand it, but here we are. And just, like, have a super good time there. So, if you don't like care about board games, it's still for you. Definitely go and check it out. We're going to be going pretty much every year at this point. We're trying to get a huge group of people so that we can start like play testing and doing things there. But like,
if we get big enough, maybe we'll just have a booth there and you all can come say hi.
Yeah, and we will probably be playing board games there and doing things.
I will for sure. If we get a booth, I will have a table in there and we can play board games, and I'll bring my own board games and we can play. Or you can go buy one and we'll play it. I don't care. Let's bring it.
And while he's roaming around trying to find more board games to buy, I will be running one-shots for you all to do for these things like Hunt the Reckoning.
She says I'm going to walk around and buy more board games. I'm going to do it the first day and then we broke. So
that's true.
I'll be in there for...
I have no more money, guys. Here we are.
I'm going to be in there for 3.5 days at least.
It's like, I don't have any more money to spend, so here we are. Let's go. But no, we had a huge amount of fun there. We plan on playing all the board games that we got here. Spent way too much money, so you all get to see what these games are about. Honey Buzz is on the list. Sea of Thieves is on the list. Everdell's probably going to be something because Nathan and I have never played it, but we want to play it.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, so we've got plenty.
Who thinks being just little critters in the forest is going to be an amazing game?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
We actually got to go to the Alchemy RPG booth, talk to them for a little bit, and just like see what their stuff was about. And they have a digital version on Steam playing that.
I own it.
Yeah, so we learned how to play a little bit from that. And like, no offense to Nathan, but like when he gets into something, he gets into it hardcore. So I'm standing there, and I was like, you know what? You can play it because you've never played board games that much. So like, you can play this digital version, see if you like it or not. And he went through, there's 3 phases of the tutorial, and he got through 2. And I just like kind of looked at him after standing there for half an hour, like, are you going to do the 3rd tutorial? He's like, well, see, like that part was about like how you can build things in your little town like here. But like, there's another whole section of playing the actual game. I was like, but are you going to play? He's like, well, I built a school, so my teacher has to be in the school. And I was like, there's a whole nother experience that we can have here besides playing a digital board game by yourself in the tutorial. Let's go. But like, he really got into Everdell for that little bit of time. So like, it's going to be fun to do that. They've got like Pokemon stuff there. We got to see we still haven't played the gingerbread game from last year, so that's got to be one we play. But they had the gingerbread game there this year when we were walking around, because we heard walking by the play area, like, rip it off. And I was like, the gingerbread game is still here this year.
Yeah, I want to play it. That sounds like a good game.
Yeah, you have to rip off whatever body part that you choose in that game, and that's the chant that you have to do the entire time you're doing it. So it sounds super fun, but like, there's going to be some like video and stuff of what we caught there. We didn't really want to, like, the whole part of GenCon is not like to go and interview people. It's the experience. So we just like took video of stuff that we were doing.
Yeah, I did reach out to some of the people at the booth on one day I walked. So one of the things I'm going to try to do is talk to some of the smaller producers of games and just see if they can give us a test copy and stuff so we can get more games to play. But I also buy at least 2 to 4 new board games a month, it seems like. So even if they don't, I got, like I said, Dark Tower is going to be a great game. I think everyone's going to like it here.
Yep.
Thunder Road, I didn't have no expectations for it. I wasn't even thinking about that game. The more I look into it, the more I read it, it's going to be awesome. It's basically Mad Max of board games. You are literally racing through a post-apocalyptic world, and you have cars taking each other off the road, and you have helicopters that come down and shoot your cars and stuff. It's going to be great. I'm excited.
That makes sense. Yeah. The box for it was actually really cool looking, but like that makes sense on what it looks like on the front cover. So
yeah. So, and then like I said, Hero Quest. She's going to really like Hero Quest because it's truly D&D but board game. It is a board game version of D&D. It gives you a DM screen, you have a map, you have bad guys, you set up a new board, you literally go through an entire campaign book, and it's one long character sheet, everything like that. So it is D&D board game from the 80s. It's phenomenal. I had it when I was a kid. I can't afford to buy the original copy because it's so expensive now.
Yeah, it is.
But the new version is literally the same exact game. They just updated the pieces and made it look a lot nicer. So I'm super pumped and excited for this game.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool things that are be coming down the pipeline. We are also in our own time playing Baldur's Gate 3. So we might have an episode of like the review on that, which, spoiler, it's amazing. So
nakedness. That's my spoiler alert.
Just a little clip into what we will be talking about. We have one of our buddies that's playing through. Didn't know he did this until it happened, but he sold his clothes that you get to wear in camp. So we all like got into camp.
I did that too the other day.
Well, guess what? When you all get into the camp, bam, penis. right there, just out in the open.
But I chose penis D though, so it's all right.
There's 4 different options for a penis. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Baldur's Gate 3.
They all do the same thing, but they're all different in their own way.
It's not the
It's like a
size, man. It's
fingerprint.
how you use it.
Never.
Like
There's
a
not 2 the same.
fingerprint.
Everyone's
No, you're
different.
right. There's A, B, C, and D. So, but we'll talk about that eventually somewhat too. But like we'll be playing. We're not playing board games on this because of course this is like a little small. But we have our
I
own.
got
little...
2 games I bought that we can play on there. We play Scout. Spill the Oilers winner of last year. Super awesome game. It's about a circus. It's pretty cool. Then we bought this little cloud game where you build ladders. In your like a dream cloud. So you're like sleeping and you're building ladders, and you guys see how that looked.
Only in board games can you say like you're bird watching or you're collecting nectar from your honeys,
or you're asleep stacking ladders in Dream World.
So we've got a lot of different things that we're going to be playing with. I've got a whole craft area now set up. So like maybe some of the minis that we got, we'll do a little bit of that on there. But we have a lot of stuff that we have to cover.
Yeah, we do.
Now we have the space to do this. And I don't think you all realize just how much thought I put into this because these are orange chairs if you can't see them. This is the same color as the background as our opening and everything. So when we were talking about redoing this room, I was like, okay. So we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to get this, we got to go there. I looked through for 5 hours on which chairs to choose. So this has a lot of love in it.
The problem is now, though. So what y'all don't see is the rest of the room.
Yes.
So the rest of the room has a computer desk and stuff in it. So now the problem is they really need to get rid of the desk so we can put a board game table in here, mount their computers to the wall, and then we can have board games in here. And our podcast, and then you all just have your chairs underneath where your computers are hanging, and just a little keyboard thing.
Why do you think we're doing the basement too? That's going to be the board game place because that's insulated, so it's very quiet down there. So you can be as loud as you want, and you're going to hear every bit of it, but not anyone else. So
that's true. We have very personal experiences about being down in our basement, being very loud.
White trash bash night.
My Dale Earnhardt tattoo was on point that day.
Long story short, we had a friend that was moving out of the country, and we wanted to make his last
He's
birthday.
going to Japan, so white trash just felt like a great...
We had to make the last one in America count, so we did a white trash bash, and this dude over here did short cut-off jeans.
My pockets were longer than my pants leg.
Yes. I think we went to McDonald's before that even started, and the person that was, taking the money was just like, you all have a good night.
And I'm pasty white, so, I was reflecting all the light back 1,000 times brighter than what it really was.
True.
I probably was lighting the sky up.
I'm pretty sure you had the chops then and everything too.
I had the chops and I cut a mullet into my hair.
Yeah.
And then had someone put a Dale Earnhardt number 3 Intimidator tattoo here, and then a Tasmanian Devil tattoo on this arm, and then just a fake barbed wire tattoo. So it was pretty classy.
It was a white trash bash to surpass all white trash bashes. So we know how well that basement can handle parties. So we have a lot of stuff planned going down there. We're hoping to get the Hunter, the Reckoning.
God, I can't wait.
At least planned with somebody to run it because this gold cannot stay hidden for long.
I'm gonna reach out to Brandon Lee Mulligan tonight and just start every day blasting his email.
Look, man. It's a great idea. Yeah. You got
B Mulligan, BL Mulligan, Lee Mulligan, Mulligan B. I'm hitting every single Dimension 20 email I can think of and look, I know we're nowhere special. I know we're just regular people. You should be too. We need someone that can handle us play this game because we're going to be complete asses.
It's but hear us out. I beg of you.
And I really feel like he would be on board for the concept we came up with. I feel like he'd be oh yeah, I can make that shit work.
It's you know what? You got yourself a DM. Or GM, I'm apologizing. Has to be GM. But,
what is it? It's storyteller in that, though, right? You're the storyteller.
Yes, you are the storyteller in that
one. So we
would
have a storyteller.
Yes. And he's a perfect storyteller. And if not him, by God, I'll go for Matt Mercer.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's a good second choice.
Yeah. It's look, man.
But he's got to look like Ganon.
I'm down for that. You've all heard it.
Not Tears of the Kingdom Ganon.
You all have heard me say it, I'm pretty sure a billion times by now on this show. Everyone should see There Will Be Brawl. I will let him wear that Ganon suit in that, just do it.
I'll dress up as Fox.
In that one, though, he's Russian.
I'm good with that.
It's like, so what are we having here? It's like, I'll give
I'll
you
just be
some.
Bert Kreischer as the Star Fox. No shirt. I'm already furry enough. It'll be perfect.
Oh God. Anywho,
I think I might go as Bert Kreischer for Halloween, so I don't have to wear a shirt anywhere.
I mean, everywhere I've ever seen him, he is completely like shirtless.
He's hilarious.
I mean, it's true though. So, but we are going to be having a lot of different things. We are back. We're going to try our best here to get as much as we can into it. So keep an eye out on us. Thank you for not giving up on us.
Thanks.
But we've made this now for you all, and we hope to be doing more.
You know what the next cool thing we get? You remember like, Wayne's World whenever they sold out to Noah's Arcade? And they were like on the suit, and they had like the Wayne's World like neon sign come down. It was like Wayne's World, Wayne's World. When it's like Nerd Enough TV, it just come out from like, just a neon sign that comes down that goes back up.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Pizza time. Heck yeah. So yeah, we went to GenCon. It was super amounts of fun. We got a ton of board games to play.
Yeah, I think that's our next episode too. Is we're just gonna review the board games we got. So
yep.
We'll have about a pile.
So many.
But that's all.
Yes, it's going to be like touching the ceiling.
I'm going to save it for the next one, but I bought a really cool thing from Cosmo Games, too, that I'm really excited for. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
So,
well, then I guess we will see you all when we're going through our board games on the next one.
I can't wait, guys. I am literally super excited.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.